Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching Jetamakul playing in the Object 277, and they are going to have their work cut out for them in this replay, having to basically put the entire team on their back, and that's usually a burden that an average World of Tanks player can't really manage. But Jetamakul is going to have probably the one of the best games they're ever going to have. But I hope that they manage to top it one day, because I don't think I could manage to top this one. So, Jetamakul plays on the European server, and they have an overall average win ratio on their account of 49%, which is the average win ratio in World of Tanks. One of the reasons why I love this game is just I could taste the sheer excitement that Jetamakul was going through with this game. And it's something that you don't really get so much after you've played, you know, those 50, 60, 70, in my case, like 80,000 games of World of Tanks over the years. And you know that feeling when you're getting that first ridiculous game in your top tier tank? Well, I think that this might have been one of them for Jetamakul. So, 49% win ratio, the average in World of Tanks. You might be thinking, why is it not 50? Well, that's because draws happen. And I can tell you, back in the day, a lot more draws happened than they do now. Now, with people just playing better, and also with all of the equipment choices, just being more competitive inside the game, people generally are able to dig out the campers more so than they could do in 2011 or 2012. Back then, tank destroyers still had ridiculous camo after firing, as it was their class-based bonus. So that's why a lot of draws happened, because tank destroyers would just be unspottable at the end of the game, and no one would really want to push. You didn't have scouts, apart from vehicles like the T-52, maybe the Chaffee, or the VK-2801, and they didn't have things like commander's vision systems to be able to negate bushes towards the latter part of the game. And frankly, people wouldn't even really know how to scout a line on Prokhorovka or Malinovka, and it was just a horrible mess of vehicles kind of camping against each other. These days, the draw ratio is significantly less. And the reason why I mention this is because probably back in the day, the average win ratio might have been like 48 or even slightly lower because of the amount of draws. Now that there are less draws in the game, that means that the average win ratio will probably be about 49 rather than 48 or even lower like it was back in the day. So, any of you out there who are 50% win ratio players, you're above average because of those draws. Now, I'm not talking about statistics to try and say, oh, well, Jetamakul is just an average player. Does that mean that you should completely disregard their gameplay or disregard this game? Well, clearly not, as Jetamakul is going to have a better game of World of Tanks at tier 10 than I've ever had. So, yeah, so if you'd pay attention to my games, you should pay attention to Jetamakul's game here. And also another reason why I really wanted to feature this today is for the last couple of days on the channel, I featured like the 279E, I featured the Chieftain and the Kampfpanzer in a single video yesterday, and I really wanted to show the average World of Tanks player playing out of their socks, having like maybe an account highlight, and also in a very average tank with very average loadout. Small repair kit, small med kit, no premium consumable. Sure, Jetamakul's firing some premium rounds here, as you would do when you're having to bludgeon your way through this thick armor on the Tortoise and also on an E100. But it's a 277. It's a tech tree heavy tank, and it's definitely one of the best starting heavies that anyone can play. It's pretty simple. 5.5 degrees of gun depression mean that you really have to just keep it on the flat, and it doesn't require extensive knowledge of other positions where you can either use 6, 7, 8, or plus degrees. It's got a lovely front turret, although it does have a bit of a weak point on top, and it's just got nice thick frontal armor with enough mobility to be able to get you out of trouble or even to be able to make flanking plays. There's a lot of passive aggressiveness going on right here from the Carnarvon and I believe the Mouse, who seems to be very insistent of Jetamakul just falling back. Do you think maybe they could just shut up and let Jetamakul carry, you know? They're up to 6,000 damage in this game, and hopefully with a shell here on the Tortoise, maybe it was going to go up. But unfortunately, another ricochet there off the Tortoise. Jetamakul, if there's one thing I'd like to suggest to you, if I might be so bold as to make a suggestion, is that I feel like you might need to lower the sensitivity just a touch of your mouse. But also another thing is, at the moment you're using something called dynamic camera, which makes your gun kind of buck up at the end. And while I used to use that back in the day, I realized that there's no point of actually having the visual bouncing of your reticle after every shot, especially when playing autoloaders, and it can actually end up being very counterproductive. So I'd recommend turning off the dynamic camera setting that I believe, gosh, you can find right here. So if you disable the dynamic camera, then your gun literally just doesn't go up after every shot, which can be really useful. So Jetamakul, having dealt with the Amex M454, now turns their attention to a much smaller tank here in the form of the Tiger II. Jetamaku's up to 3 kills, make that 4 kills now, finishing off the tier 8 German heavy tank, now turning their attention towards the 430, who seems to be focusing on their Leopard towards the side. However, Jetamakul bundles round the corner, puts a round through the 430, ignites probably the fuel tanks there of the Object 430, securing now their 5th kill of the game, and 8,000 damage. Goodness gracious. Even though 8,000 damage has been dealt, Jetamaku's team is still down by 4 tanks and 3,000 hit points. Just what is going on in this game? Luckily, however, the Borask is now more of a barbecue, and the Standard B hopefully is going to go in and finish them off, only losing a slight amount of hit points, now bringing it down to about 1,000 hit point disadvantage with 3 kills to boot. But Jetamaku is just all over the place. They're everything the team needs them to be. And that bat chat is definitely not, as they drive into a mouse and the IS-22 gets shut down, with Jetamaku now in the center of the map, having multiple lines of fire all the way across the map, but still not tunnel visioning enough that they want to hold that position and just farm the center. I love it. Jetamaku, you look like a teammate that I would love to have. You're always looking for where you need to be and always looking for who you can help. In this case, it's the Leopard who's locked in combat with the Kunzerpanzer. And if they hold on, that will allow you to possibly keep a gun in the game. And look, if you weren't here, this CC-67 would have easily been able to shoot through the gap, or maybe just go round the corner. I wonder if there's actually a gap there in between or if the rubble's blocking it out. And they would have finished off the Leopard, but not on Jetamaku's watch. As the, lucky, the Kunzerpanzer actually manages to miss the Leopard. Jetamaku pushes the Kunzerpanzer forward as if to protect their Leopard more, and wow, completely bailed them out. And there we go. That's not passive aggressiveness. That's thanks, legitimate thanks, right there from the Leopard. And Jetamaku rightly gets rewarded with now 9,000 damage. And also a Radley Walters medal. How about make that 9 kills now and 9,500 damage. Oh my goodness gracious. Jetamaku is getting as exciting as I think I was in my 60 TP just a couple of months ago, when I was just praying that maybe that blind shot had actually gone in against the IS-7. Or I knew it went in, but whether it had rolled high enough against the IS-7. And here we go. Jetamaku is now trying to gun for 10,000 damage in World of Tanks. But oh dear, comes round the corner, gets a shot into the Jagdtiger, but loses a large amount of hit points in a little bit of a lazy play. But there you have it. 10,000 damage, Jetamaku. Congratulations to you. I could just see the excitement, and it just fills that up inside me. I just love these kinds of replays where clearly players are having those kind of wants. Well, they're account highlight, and I should say account highlights so far, because you know what, Jetamaku, if you keep playing like this, I don't think this is going to be a one-off. You have truly put the team on your back. You've truly managed to carry this one. We've still got a little bit more. I think the mouse would probably be able to win this 1 versus 2, but at least just see how much higher you can push this. 9 kills, 10,500 damage. Jetamaku asking the team to be able to see if they can get 10 kills in this game as they push their damage total over 11,000 now. And the Object 252U stops the Pools medal. But Jetamaku really hamming on the begging here, asking if they can manage to get 10 kills in this game to go along with the 11,000 damage. And this Object 252U doesn't quite manage to get there in time, and as long as they don't miss this shot, there we go. GG indeed. The Leopard on Jetamaku's team saying amazing, and I totally agree with them. Jetamaku, I tell you what, there's one thing for certain. Mate, if you keep playing like this, you aren't gonna keep 49% win ratio for long. That is for sure. And this was just an absolute wonderful game, which I truly enjoyed, seeing supposedly an average player of World of Tanks have a better result at tier 10 than I've ever had. And it wasn't because of premium consumables. It wasn't because they only loaded gold at the start of the game. It was because they did the right basics in World of Tanks, but also went above and beyond for their team when it mattered. And Jetamakul, I really wish the average World of Tanks player played like this, at least in the majority of their games. Actually, maybe not. I probably would be below average myself if everyone was playing like this. So an ace tanker here for 1,731 base experience. You could have probably got a third less than that and still got an ace in this tank. A high caliber for that over 11,000 damage. A Pools medal for picking up that 10th kill. And a Steel Wall medal for managing to block 6,200 damage. Enough to vanquish this vehicle 3 times over. And made a profit even at tier 10. And Jetamakul, I went and took a look at your statistics a little bit, and I loved to see that that appears to be your first and only Pools medal. Massive thumbs up to you. I can only imagine what it felt like to smash 11,000 damage, get yourself the first Pools medal that you got on your account. And I know for sure that if you keep playing like this, bud, that's definitely not going to be your last. So Jetamakul, thank you very much for uploading your replay on the What Replays website, and thank you so much for putting QB in the title to be able to get my attention. As I'm really trying to release YouTube videos for the rest of the year, this is your best chance to the community to get me to watch your epic games. So put QuickyBaby or QB in the title, upload it to What Replays EU, and hopefully I'll have the pleasure to add my terrible commentary to more of your epic games, just like Jetamakul has uploaded here. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed this game. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments down below which tier 10 tank holds your status of biggest game on your account, be it in kills, be it in damage. What's that big boy tier 10 tank? For me personally, obviously it's the 60 TP. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.